Hi everybody, my name is Ian Vair, and you're watching The Green Mountain Chef, brought to you by PEG TV, right here in Rutland, Vermont. All right, I've got some lovely ingredients for you today. We actually decided to call the show, what do we call this? The Farmer's Market Delight. And frequently with my shows, what I like to do is put a little recipe together, plan it all out, be Mr. Chef Man, don't mess up. Well, this week, this episode, did a little differently. Why not? I thought I would take the same type of tact that you yourself at home watching might, let's go to the farmer's market. Let's pick out a few ingredients. That's what I did. I went and I spoke to some friends, some neighbors, some local community at the farmer's market. Why not? That's why they're there. That's who we need to support. So that's what I did. And I found some lovely ingredients. I talked to the folks from, and I'd like to thank them, Boardman Hill Farms. I would like to thank the folks from Foggy Meadow Farms and also the Burger Farm. We got some lovely, excellent produce. Not too much, a little bit, wasn't too expensive. Got a nice cut of meat. I haven't worked with veal shanks in a long time, and I didn't find any, but I found some beef shanks. And they're very similar. It's kind of like the ankles, if you want. It sounds weird, but the truth is it's a nice cut of meat. It's fairly lean, and what the heck, it was pretty inexpensive. So that's the route we went. So we're going to make some braised, nice cooking method there, beef shanks. That's kind of fun. It's a combination cooking method, all right? We're going to make some roasted beets, all right, some red beets, and I'm also going to saute up some fresh spinach with a little onions and garlic. Easy stuff. Nice meal. This is a nice meal for 2 up to 4 kind of thing, really easy. You could make it start to finish, it's going to be a few hours, okay? So I'm working some TV magic today, which I like to do. But really, most of the bulk of it, it's easy. It's easy. You can knock it out in like 10 minutes, all right? I also brought a really nice treat. I hope that most people know that I'm a bit of a mushroom connoisseur. Some people like to call me the local wild mushroom man or wild mushroom expert. So, Morel mushroom season began just a few days ago. Okay, we're in early May now, as we're taping here today, and I went a few days early, and some of my friends said, "Oh, it's a little early, you better not." And I said, "Hey man, I'm the guy who goes into the wild and finds the mushrooms. Well, why don't you come?" And they were like, "No, you go get it." I found 130 Morel mushrooms. These mushrooms are amazing. They grow all around the world. They only flush or come out of the ground about 3 weeks a year. And timing is, it has to be impeccable. It's all about temperature, humidity, and rain. Okay? That's basically how all that stuff works. And mushrooms are a lot like that. They're very finicky. Also, you have to find the exact substrate. What's that? Their food source. The trees that they like. So I happen to have a couple nice little secret patches that I go to. They like old dying apple orchards. Fun, okay? That's not hard to find. We know what apple trees look like. They like ash trees. They like elm trees. All right, a little more difficult, but there's a lot of books out there that can teach us, what to do. Now, my mushroom Bible of sorts is a National Audubon Society field guide to North American mushrooms. I've been studying this book for nearly 20 years. This is the book that I teach out of. It has over 750 organisms in it, and what's amazing is the pictures are excellent. And the description of, hey, I think it looks like this one in this picture, you can go check it out. Tells you all about it. When it grows, how it grows, what trees it likes, all the different parameters, and we won't go deeply into that because this is a cooking show, but it's a lot of fun. So those kind of things, if you want to talk about them more, maybe you'll bump into me at the farmer's market someday. But the morel mushrooms, we're going to play with them in just a little bit. Put them aside. Okay, so let's get back to those braised beef shanks. All right, and we had to work some television magic. I had to sear it before the show started. I had to get it in the oven to braise it. But what is a braise? The definition of a braise, so there's 12 standard French cooking methods. And I am a culinary French-trained chef. It's all about methods. It's all about specs, ratios, mother sauces. So the braised, it's the only combination method. What's that? Well, there's wet methods, water. There's dry methods, no water. Okay, and I won't get into that, but with these shows, I like to try to use different methods because we're teaching methods. I like to try to use healthy local ingredients because, hey, let's live longer. Let's support our community. Fun. So what is a braise? We start with a sear. Okay, we start with a sear. And the video that's going to be attached right along into this, you might not even know that there's any difference here of what we're doing, but you're going to see what it looks like. We're going to technically saute. High heat, very little fat. Okay, saute, sear, caramelize the cut of meat. All right, whether it be a steak, this is a shank. And I kept it simple, folks. Salt and pepper. Everybody's got salt and pepper. All right, can't mess that up. Little salt and pepper. All right, we seared it. Once we get a little brownage on there, it only took a couple minutes to sear and get some caramelization. Right in the oven. All right, now I needed to speed it up a little bit. I had the oven on about 325 to 350-ish. Time constraints here, I'm on television. At home, it's nice to go at about 275 to 300. Usually 2 to 3 hours is plenty, all right, plenty. I think I finished mine in about an hour and a half today. Like I said, I upped the temp a little bit. So, we're going to go to that video. Go ahead, guys. We'll see what's going to happen there. A little TV magic. We'll be right back. How easy is that? All right, and I think I'm going to start with just a little bit of oil on her. Okay, just a little bit. That's enough. That's all she needed. Just kind of dance around in there a little bit. Got my little mushroom salt and pepper shakers. All right, just a little bit here. And you can use more than this, absolutely. But I find that if I'm putting too much on it, it tends to burn on me. And I'm not happy with the flavor. So just a little salt and pepper on each side. Nice and simple. I'm a simple man. Okay. That's it, everyone. Okay. Now, the key to saute, and I know we're searing, it's essentially the same. High heat, little fat. All right? Literally, that is the definition of saute. So I have avocado oil. It's a high temp oil, very healthy, loaded with mono and polyunsaturated fats. We're going for healthy today, guys. I know there's saturated fat in the steak here. Oh, look at me making a mess. This is what happens. Okay, so if you're at home, just pull it off the heat a little bit, guys. If you find that it's smoking, you're like, oh my gosh, the smoke alarm's going to go off. Just pull it off the heat. All right. If you put your oil in and it is immediately smoking, okay, cool, take it off the heat. All right. But remember, the key to this method is high heat. All right. That's what's going to give us a nice brown. All right. Caramelization, flavor. Why does your food taste better than mine at home? Because I have just a few little secrets like this. Okay. So, well, no, not quite. Okay. So, I just want to reiterate that this was sourced at the Vermont Farmers Market, Saturdays. 9 to 2 now. We're going outdoors, okay? Lovely farm, burger farm, lovely folks, friends, okay? Neighbors, local everyone, all right? Not expensive. This was like a $5 cut of meat. Oh my gosh, it's a pound. Couldn't believe it. So I was really happy when I saw this. All right, yeah, perfect. What was that? Maybe a minute and a half on the first side. So we'll go probably about the same on the other side. Now you're going to say, oh, there's some fat along the outside. That's all right. We're braising it. All right? All that means is after we use this nice dry cooking method, we're going to go in and the moisture, and we're also going to put foil around the top, it's going to steam it. Okay? So those connective tissues are going to break down lovely. And when you cut into it, now it's going to be well done. All right? It's not going to be like a rare fillet, but it's going to be fabulous. Okay? And we're even going to throw in a fun little sauce that I'm going to do with it, and we'll get to it when it's finished. And I make some TV magic and we pull it out of the oven here. Okay? We're almost there. Let's see what we got. Almost. Maybe another minute, 30 seconds. We're close. Okay? So these are beef shanks. You don't see this at the stores. This is something that you can go straight to the farmer's market and say, hey, I saw this thing on television. I want to try it out. All right, not too expensive. Nice local folks I can get it from. Okay? It's fun. Come on down. Check it out. All right. Happy. Turn your heat off. Now check this out. We've already got our flavor in there. Little balsamic vinegar. Flavor. Red wine. Hey, for you drinkers, don't worry about it at all. It's all that alcohol is cooking off. And I've decided I'm going to add a little bit of water into it. So we've got about a cup of liquid in here total. All right, it's going to cook at least an hour and a half, folks. And I'll have the exact specs on the recipe when you check it out at the end. Okay, so now we're going to make some TV magic in just a moment after I wrap it up and put it back in, and whoosh, we're going to take it back out and show you the nearly finished product. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. TV magic. It's been an hour and a half. Not really. So that braise, once we've browned it, we got it in the oven. Very nice. And before I forget, this is what's important about a braise. We brown it. We put it in a pan like I showed. Okay? Hopefully everyone saw that little part of the segment. It needs liquid. So it's a dry method, no liquid, and we add liquid to it. Braise, combination method. So a little vinegar, we saw, okay? A little red wine, a little water. You don't have to use those things. Some people like to use beer, you know? Some people like to use only wine. Some people like to use some liquid smoke and some water. So it's not perfect, okay? Today I'm just having fun. We got a really nice, yummy, you know, cut of meat at the farmer's market, inexpensive. Why not? So a little TV magic. I think it's done. Check it out. Okay. Let's take a look at this bad boy. It's not going to look quite the same because the meat's going to, you know, be cooked a little bit more, but it is, it's falling apart, okay? We don't need this quite yet because we got to cook a few more things, so I'm just going to set it aside. We still have some liquid in there that we're going to reserve and use, so hang on to that. We're going to make a little sauce. Just going to set this aside for a minute, folks. Okay, what's next? All right, it's not always easy just showing up here and having everything be perfect. So the next thing that I have are beets, all right? I think most of us know what a beet looks like. And unfortunately, I brought one. Well, there's no time to say, here's the beet, and then cook it for an hour. So the beets are, at this point, just about done, but I want to talk about them, okay? So I don't like the skin, you know, as a chef, I like to take off all of the outside and the skin of the beet. So we're going to pretend that this onion is a beet. It's relatively the same size. And basically what we're doing is taking off the top side, just a little bit, taking off the bottom side, just a little bit, and then it'll set down flat on your cutting board, all right? And there's a few ways to do it, folks. I like to use my knife and take off as little of as little of that skin as possible, so as much of that flesh is remaining as possible. Boom. We're just pretending here, okay? Nobody's perfect, all right? Okay, and when it's finished, we come out with a big solid beet that I'm going to slice in, really slice it however you want, but I decided to slice it in half and then get some, you know, some nice portions out of it, okay? Very similarly to the beef shanks, I roasted it. I didn't brown it first, okay? So it's just a roast. All right, we're going into a little higher temp oven, which, you know, don't worry about that in my process here, but with a roast, the definition of a roast is basically just like baking, but it's a higher temp. So you want around 375, you know, to 425-ish. Just a higher temp. You know, baking is usually lower, like 300, 350. So take the skin off of the beet, slice it how it makes you happy. Most importantly, it's sliced that it's uniform, so that you don't have little pieces that are burnt and big pieces that aren't done. They're uniform and they're all cooked about the same. I just hit it with a little avocado oil. That's my favorite oil. You use canola oil if you like. You know, here, you know, while we're on that subject, I want to talk about oil. So these beets we finished up, salt and pepper, cover them up, get them in the oven. But what's very important is the oil. A lot of people that I talk to, and I say, what kind of oil are you using? Oh, olive oil, it's the best, it's the best. And I'm like, yeah, it's excellent, you're right. It's great for dressings, folks. It's cold pressed. It's superb. It has a low smoke point, excuse me. So you get it in the pan, it's smoking almost right away. And what's happening is you're breaking down nutrients, all right? Excellent oil. I put it every morning in my smoothies. I eat it raw. It's like superb. But don't cook with it. You don't need to, I should say. The chef does not recommend or suggest. So the avocado oil, wonderful, all right? Avocados, like the healthiest fruit ever in the universe. I eat them every single day. Wonderful. The oil from it, it's high temp. It's like 500 degrees plus, okay? So avocado oil. So any oil that I'm using here today, I'm using that. So this whole roast thing with the beets, you know, it's kind of fun. You know, play with it. Remember, the most important aspects of it are taking the skin off. Your slices that you make are uniform. Get it into a little higher temp oven, all right? Sometimes, you know, you could very, very lackadaisically through your day, oh, I think I'll roast my beets now. Get them done, taken out of the oven. Oh, I think I'll braise my cut of meat, whatever it may be, my shanks, we'll say, we're using today. Get it out of the way, put it aside. Oh, it's getting close to dinner time. Well, let's put them back in for 15 minutes, warm them up. Let's go to our spinach, all right? Spinach is like, and with spinach, the cooking method we're going to be using is saute, all right? So first we use the combination method, the braise, all right? Sometimes people say, braise, what do you mean? There's oil in there, it's wet. There's no water, okay? It's considered a dry method. Even deep frying is considered a dry method, folks, just so you know. So say the French. So we had that, a little oil, you know, a little liquid going. We worked with roasting. Kind of fun, you know, different method, higher temp. Now we're getting into saute. Saute is my personal favorite. That's what I use every single day from, you know, cooking eggs to, you know, potatoes to, you know, making stir fries or whatever. It's my favorite, and it's very, very healthy. All right, you need high heat, very little fat. Okay, that's the definition of saute. So I've got a nice saute pan here, getting warm. And we're not quite ready yet. Let's talk about a few things. Thanks again to my sponsors, all right? Thank you very much, folks, Foggy Meadow and Boardman Hill. I'd like to just reiterate that. They're wonderful, and they're good friends and local community members, all right? These are the folks that we're supporting when we come to the farmers market, not just the wild mushroom man. All right, there's a lot of people there that are wonderful. So please come on down. This spinach is lovely, fresh spinach. And let's take a look at it, guys. Take a look at it here. Let's get it down here. Now, there's a few things you can do. Some people, they don't like the stems. Let me get these stems out of here. You know, get these, what are these things? They're a little fibrous, all right? Healthy, yummy, okay? They taste, they're good. I keep them in there. So if you want to try it both ways, if texturally you're not into that kind of thing, then just take them off. Just pull them right off, all right? I'll show you one more time. Here's the stem. I'm literally just sort of pinching the stem and boom, it's done, okay? Now, I'm just, you know, kind of going to roughly go across it, all right? You don't even have to, but remember, most important thing with a knife, with good knife skills, is keeping your thumb tucked and your fingers, you know, sort of straight, all right? So your knife, this is a guide for your knife. And we're just gonna, you know, no big deal. All right, very rough. All right, almost. Now, we've got an onion to work with. I like to work with onions, and I demo this frequently. So we have the root side, all right, and bottom side. We have the top side where, you know, all the chives and stuff, you know, come out, the green part of the onion. And the thing to do is you want to keep the root side intact, okay? The top side, we're just going to cut, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch maybe, off the top, all right? Boom. Trash, or I use them for stock, okay, for flavor. So we take that top one off, and then you set it down, and nothing's going to move it. Right in half, all right? I don't need this whole onion, so part of it I'm going to put aside, okay? So the root side holds it intact. Now let's get this skin off. And in the essence of time, I'm probably taking one more peel off of it than I need to, but not a big deal. So what we're going to do, We got all the peel off, we got, the top side's cut, the root side's still intact. Now, depending on how big you want your onions, you can either go through the middle, and I'm going to do that right now. Most of the way. Look at that. All right? If we wanted them bigger, I wouldn't go through the middle. Then I would go through the top. See how I'm doing this? Straight, right down, but not all the way through. So again, this root side is just holding it together. And then we go across one more time. Look! Whoop! Nobody's perfect. Okay. Fun. All right, look. Diced onions. Easy. Easy to do. I've got some garlic from the local farmers market. This is all farmers market, guys. All right. Garlic. Got to be careful with garlic. It burns fast. This is the kind of thing that you put in last. And all I'm doing, sometimes I rush through. You're just breaking off a clove. All right, you got the whole bulb here. You're just breaking off a clove. Okay, sometimes it's like, I don't like messing with it because it's hard to take off. But truly, you just smush it a little bit. That's all. You just push down on it. You can push down on it, crush it with your fingers a little bit. And once you do that, the skin really just peels right off. No big deal. It takes practice. I probably make it look a little bit easy. I've done hundreds of them, but probably more. And this stuff, again, stock, flavor, trash, compost. All right? So, got our onions looking good. Our garlic here, what do I do with it now? I'm just going to slice it thin. Okay? I like to go halfway through, and then I turn it so it's flat, and then I go through again. All right? See that again, guys. Keep those fingers tucked. Keep that thumb back. All right. Now, spinach is prepped. Onions are prepped. Garlic's ready. Beets are pretty happy. The beef shanks are ready. We're very close. Hot pan. It's been on for a couple minutes here, okay? I think it's hot enough. Just barely smoking. The guys in the studio were like, don't smoke it up, Ian. I'm going to put my onions in. Okay? And if you think that it's too smoky, pull it off the heat. Not too bad. Doing pretty good, guys. All right? It's important with saute. You can't run high, super hot heat the whole time and say, I burn it every time. No. Get it hot. You usually turn it down to about medium. All right? Not a big deal. Now, it's interesting with garlic. Frequently, I like to put garlic in at the very end, but spinach doesn't take very long at all. Okay? So, these onions are close. I'm actually going to put my garlic in second here, and we'll put the spinach in third. And the reason, garlic, some people like it raw. I like to cook some of that bite out of it. All right, so I just barely, they call it in culinary school a sweat. All right, so let's get the spinach right in. How fast was that? Now what do we do? Let's just turn it around a little bit, okay? No, I'm not Mr. Perfect. If you're doing it this way and you're like, I always burn my garlic, he taught me wrong, just do it a different way. Get your spinach in there and then put your garlic and stuff in. Sometimes when I'm cooking big batches, I'll actually do my garlic or onions separate and then add it in with the other veggies, and it makes it way easier. All right, so we're just about done here, guys. How fast was that? A minute? Okay, I've got a little kosher salt. Not much. I like kosher salt because I can feel it. Okay? I think I used iodized on the beef shanks, but that's just because I like my little mushroom salt and pepper shakers. All right, but use whatever salt that you like. Himalayan sea salt's nice. So we've got just a little kosher salt, black pepper. All right, not too much at all. Heat's off, guys. All right, okay, turn it around, a little fancy there. That's done. Now, this last thing, coming right back, guys. Hold on. Let's work with these Morel mushrooms, these rare delicacies that we don't see very often. Now, these particular ones, they were fresh a few days ago. I have a freeze dryer. All right, and that allows me to preserve things. So what I do with these freeze dryers, I run it through the process. We don't have to talk about that here. To rehydrate, I just barely dip them in water, guys. Barely. And when they come out, you squeeze them just a little bit. Fun. And they're almost like fresh. Almost. I'm going to go through and give them a cut, so we just have a few. All right, maybe I'll do one more, just for fun. Okay, so we've got 3 morel mushrooms here. We're going to take just a little bit of the liquid. We're going to take our morel mushrooms first. Just a little bit of oil. It's important to cook your mushrooms, all mushrooms, especially wild mushrooms. Just light saute. Light saute. Little bit of this braising liquid. It's delicious, you guys. Barely any. Just a little bit. All right. Little bit of salt and pepper. Boom. Boom. Wow. We're almost done. Look at this cool guy. Look at this guy. Look at him. That's fun. Spinach. Our beets that we talked about, out of the oven. Look at this guy. We got a good picture on that, guys? Okay. Let's put our morel mushrooms right over top. Look at these. How fun. Now, start to finish. We just went to the farmer's market. We grabbed some product. We followed a few French culinary methods, specs, ratios, easy stuff. Keep watching, guys. Keep a lookout for this man. He's going to come back to you using local, sustainable, community, lovely products, healthy, unbelievable. Keep watching. Chef Ian Vair. Take a look at what we've got. The veal shanks, the spinach, the beets, wild morel mushrooms. Ian Vair here. You are watching The Green Mountain Chef. Stay tuned. Come watch more with us. See you next time. Thanks, folks. Enjoy.